Hi, everyone. My name is Timothy Mitchell. I'm with Mimaki. I have a wonderful guest today, a fellow that has introduced me to a new software that I've become quite enamored with because of its tremendous ease of use. I was going to introduce him. My guest is Simon Landau of Print Factory. Simon, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure to be here, Tim. Pleasure to be here.
Marvelous.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
I normally call your software RIP, and every time I do, you stop me and say, well, there is an element of the software that is the RIP, but it is and I think I have it written down here, an ecosystem of workflow products. Did I get that right?
Pretty much perfect, yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Why don't you explain what your software is in your own words so people will understand it, because you will be at my Mimaki Digital Textile Microfactory event discussing your software as the importance of the workflow, the color workflow, your ecosystem, if you will, to people who have to use it to get results in a digital textile workflow. So let me know, tell us what your software does and what sets it apart from everything else.
So I guess the two things that the two major things that separate our software from other products that also RIP, for example, are the fact that we've been taking color extremely seriously now for the last decade and a half, 2 decades. All since our brief technical ownership by GMG, and we have developed a color engine that has well, I mean, you've seen the results. It's amazing. It's an amazing color engine because it's easy to use, and the results it gives are, it's just amazing. It uses our own Visu device link color engine. Very, very powerful, but easy to use and fast tools. It makes color management simple and easy so that anybody can do it. For 90% of disciplines, inkjet printing disciplines, that's our market, is typically inkjet. So the usual suspects, the UV, the UV gel, the resin-based technologies, eco-solvent, that sort of stuff. It's a profiling process that anybody can do very, very fast, very quickly. You can build multiple profiles at the same time. The output is uniform. It's perfect gray balance, deeper, darker shadows than normal ICC rips, ink saving to boot, and everything looks normalized in the right color standard that you want it, whether that's G7, whether that's wide gamma RGB, whether it's spot reproduction. Everything looks accurate, punchy and vibrant, easily, quickly, without wasting any material or ink. So the color engine and the color tools that we provide also for more challenging disciplines, should we say, a bit like dye sublimation, which is what we're going to be talking about in a week or two's time. I forget, is it a week or two? It's not next week. It's
October 30th.
Oh, October 30th. That's right.
Day before Halloween.
Day before Halloween. I'm looking forward to it. I shall come on my jet-powered broom. So we handle all that, but we also look at the whole production workflow from as soon as the order has been accepted by order entry, and it starts its flow from an MIS or ERP system or even web to print. We want to grab that digital asset and pass it all the way through the workflow from pre-press. So we have advanced pre-press tools, we have manual pre-press workflow tools that outperform the Adobe Creative Cloud products, which are typically used. So when you're creating textile step and repeat patterns, colorways, when you're adding advanced in-between registration marks for shrinkage on textile, when you're adding laser marks and for cutting, we do all of that, and we do all of that up front in the same ecosystem, minimizing errors. Typically that sort of thing is done separately. You have mostly Illustrator being used as the artwork creation and the editing, and in a lot of cases the creating of the cut marks, the SEG stretch frame cut markers, AI files. We we bolt those into Print Factory's editor system, and then we build templates for those, and we keep it within our production ecosystem. So it makes it easy for us to bolt directly into front end systems, either that output XML job tickets or JDF job tickets, or have a full feature-rich RESTful API like we have, and we can bolt directly into those systems for complete automation. So we solve all the production issues from job order sign off to feeding back data analytics from the printers that we're connected to that give us information back, and the cutters, and passing that back to a unified dashboard for the ability to estimate on the actual time and consumables and overhead a job consumes from start to finish.
Wow. Okay, so you are in a sense, a full workflow and ecosystem of all of the pieces. Yeah. So if I have 9 parts of let's say I identify 9 parts of a digital fabric workflow, your software would be involved in or address almost every piece of that workflow as having some component that is invested in that workflow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have everyone is crying out for a unified system in terms of production, because you end up if you've got to any size, you end up with disparate systems, disparate applications that look after workflow, that look after pre-flighting, that look after nesting, that look after cut file generation, that look after, ripping and color management, and maybe even ripping and color management separately, because you can put advanced color servers in front of other rips and other color management solutions. But I think everyone will recognize that having one unified system that does it all, that can do true shape nesting, and more, so advanced that it compares with, $20,000 a year nesting systems that you pay for, but we've got it built in. Having that done automated in the cloud, not having to use workflow automation tools, having automated built-in pre-flighting, having advanced automation from hot folder driven, where we can pass out automation instructions out of file names, where we can take Excel documents and automate workflows, pick up digital assets, finish them, apply cut marks to them, send them to the correct printers, all automated. In one solution that manages color, that saves ink, that essentially saves more ink, 4 times more ink than it actually costs typically to rent every year. Everyone wants that solution. Everyone wants a solution that they don't have to have these disparate parts of different applications to try and bolt together. Nobody wants to do that. Whose responsibility it is to program an API or write XML job tickets and so on and so forth. If there's one solution that handles the whole production, including track and trace job labels, customizable, automatic nesting reports, all this stuff, everything that we provide to maximize the profitability of the production workflow with whatever substrate you're printing on and finishing. If there's one solution that then can bolt into an MIS, ERP, or web to print system, rather than having 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 disparate systems, I think everyone can see the benefit in that, especially considering it pays for itself.
Yeah, I agree. It does. Well, one of the things I noticed that I've done 2 full installs with you now. One was at a local printer here in the Atlanta area, and that was a comprehensive installation, with dye sublimation, UV, resin, aqueous, so we're going through 8 or 9 printers in a day, different ink types. And then also you and Dan Gillespie from Alder Color came out here to the facility in Atlanta, installed Print Factory. We used our basic color calibration tools, Barbieri, and we got the Tiger up and running, the new Mimaki Tiger, which very had a beta driver initially and went through it real quickly, and within a day everything was sending files and looked great. The guys in my shop definitely were impressed how easy it was to build color work. just how simple it was to get very good results and build a quote profile, which, I call a preset because you have all your mechanical settings combined with the color. But all that was handled really, in an automated way that yielded an excellent result without them necessarily understanding all of the internal steps. You guys have already done those. All you have to do is read the chart and then print the confirmation, and the confirmations look fantastic. And then we moved over to the two flatbeds, the 200 and the 600, did the same thing, documented significant ink savings while maintaining one of the things I really will say about your software is I have witnessed firsthand very consistent gray neutrality. Like right out of the gate, you have no cast. I mean, it is neutral, and you can see it's neutral. And I like the fact also that you guys have visual charts. You can use both, but you have a visual focus on the neutrality. And then you can adjust that quickly if you don't like it. And those are preferences because people have different eyes, and you're very focused on human eyes seeing it and saying, okay, do you like that? My eye says, that's right. That's neutral.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, we worked a lot with that. I mean, I've worked in color management now for 32 years. So Dan and I have known each other for a long, long time, and we nerd out on color, and we're color geeks. But if there's one thing I've learned, numbers doesn't do it all. It's great to have control tools, but at the end of the day, visually, we see color, we see the output. The customers see the output. The customers can tell whether there's a badly printed Coca-Cola can sitting next to a perfectly printed Coca-Cola can. We know it. We know that red. We know that. It's like muscle memory. You know it. And you can see that. And we know that customers. In our industry, color is a big thing, and you need to make a solution. I'm going to get on my soapbox here, okay?
Please, no. Here, I'll build it for you. Go ahead.
In this day and age, yeah, you could be a photographic nerd, a photography nerd. You could be at home in your bedroom, yeah. You could have yourself, for sub $1,000, you can have a nice Canon or Epson photographic printer. You can have an X-Rite Color Monkey for a few $100. You could have a decently priced photo monitor with a shading hood, and you could, together with color targets and software, that guy could profile his digital photo shoot where he's photoing his still life or his food samples or whatever. He can profile that shoot. He can assign a compensation profile in Photoshop on his color correct monitor that he's calibrated, and he can print output of that output on high glossy or semi-gloss material on his Epson for a few $1,000s investment, and he can have capture, retouch, print, perfect color consistency from capture to print. Yeah. We're in an industry where we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of print and finishing equipment, outputting color for textile, for home furnishings, for point of sale material, banners, advertising, and yet it's so short of the ability to do that in-house. And Print Factory went on a mission to make that happen, so that anybody without any skill whatsoever can get perfect gray balance, perfect profiles without the need to invest in thousands and thousands of dollars for a very expensive color consultant to come in and build profiles for them. That's not to say they can't do that, but have the guy come in, train you on how to do it, leave you with a few $1,000s worth of measuring tools, because you can do it yourself. It's as easy as taking a broom out of the closet and sweeping for 90% of those disciplines. And for the ones that aren't, for dye sublimation, there's step-by-step tools and videos on how to where to set the primary clips, because typically you're over inking from transfer paper to substrate, whether that be Chroma-Lux or whether it be fabric, and what to do to stop the black going green when it's pressed and the neutrals looking perfect. Just a couple of little extra manual steps to take care of to get perfect results, but it's still quick. Very, very quick. and most importantly, easy, which means you're not chasing color. You're not having to edit the customer's files to get close to the result that the customer isn't going to send back, which is wasting time, it's wasting ink, it's wasting material. It should be just like the guy in the bedroom. I'm pressing the print button. I know exactly what I'm going to get out. It's perfect. In this day and age, that's what the print equipment and finishing equipment deserves. It deserves Print Factory.
I'm not going to top that soapbox. I think I will end right there. I think that's the last word. Simon, thank you so much for joining us. Please come to our Mimaki event on October 30th, day before Halloween. It starts at 9. The first presentation's at 10. Simon will be going on in the afternoon, but you can meet him earlier. If you want to understand color, workflow, ecosystem, all of the pieces that are necessary to get control of your workflow so that you print consistent, reliable color, he's definitely a fellow to talk to. A truly innovative product. I'm certainly have been impressed with my use of it, and that's why I would love to have you at this event. Looking forward to seeing you, and thank you for that great soapbox speech. That was dynamite.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care, my friend.
And you, my friend. Thank you.